All right. So in here is where we are right now. Okay. If you click on unit 0, we already finished 0.12 about file handling. Agree? And basically after networking, this week we're going to be finishing about the subnet. Okay. But on Monday and Tuesday we do programming, right, Wendy? So in this class, what we're going to do is we're going to program about data validation. Okay. And this is one of the topics that is on the test as well. And you'll notice that in unit 4, what is the name of unit 4 there, Ched? Can you see unit 4?
How to read that up? Algorithm.
Yeah, algorithms. Okay.
Okay.
And so basically what algorithms are, you should be able to do some sorting, some linear, some sum, some bubble sorting, and password checker. Okay.
Oh.
And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about data validation. So let me just have a quick look here. I'm going to open up, I think it was, we did internet security, because one part of data, there's basically 3 parts of security. Wendy, what is the very first part of security? Yeah, so we have data security, we have privacy. Do you know what data privacy is? It means that the data is only available to the people you want to have it to.
Oh.
And then there's integrity of data. That means when you send the data on the transmission line, did it arrive? And so we're going to talk a little bit about part of data integrity is data validation, is making sure that you get the correct data. Okay?
Okay.
And so in here, let me just scroll down here. We're looking for passwords. Okay? Passwords is a really important thing, and you need to be able to make strong passwords. Okay? Tell me some things that make a strong password there, Wendy. What makes a strong password? What is a requirement? What is the very first thing? Can you read?
Yes.
Okay. So have you ever made a password? And usually it makes these requirements. We're going to make our own program that's going to say, make a strong password. And if they put a character less than, if the word's not long enough, we're going to say, no, it's not safe. Okay. What is the second thing there, Ched?
Use a mixture of numbers, lowercase and uppercase characters.
So you should have some capitalized letters and some lowercase. That also makes it harder to hack.
Yeah.
Wendy, what is the third thing that each good password should have? What is this?
English.
Right here. You need to have some sort of symbols. Usually when you make a password, it asks you for that. Make sure you do not use the date of birth. That's a thing. And make something that is rememberable. Can you remember this there, Ched? Is this easy to remember?
No.
No. And so you want to make sure that the password is easy to remember. Okay?
How if you forget it?
If you forget it, then sometimes you can save it online. You know how sometimes it says the Chrome or the web browsers, they also can save the passwords. So if you're easy to forget, you can hit save my password. Yeah. So there are 3 parts of data security there, Wendy. Tell me, what are the 3 parts of data security? This is basically what we're studying today. What are the 3 parts? Okay, today we're going to focus on validating. That means that when we ask the password, we're going to validate and say, is the password strong? Is the number of characters 8 characters long? Okay, and if it's okay, then we're validate. We say it's okay to accept that password. Also with passwords, you have verification checks like double checking, re-entering the password. We'll see how the thing, we may do this tomorrow. And then we have test data. Okay, so for the next 2 days, we're going to be on security about the data. Okay, making sure that we get the good thing. So just in our note, we're gonna type this inner on Python, but validation. There are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 data checks. Can we just look here there, Wendy? The very first thing that we need to test is what? What is this called?
Range.
Wendy? Range check. What does that mean? Okay. Does that mean the number of characters? Let's say I say 8 characters long the password has to be. Is that a range check or a length check? Right. And so when we're talking about range, we're talking about specific range of numbers or letters, 1 to 10. That's called range. It's not to do with the length of the password. Okay. And so we're length check is to do with the length of characters. So remember, if you forget how to remember these, there's this thing that says cats enjoy running really long forest paths, where C can be check digit, okay, and then R can be we have really for range, okay. So you can think of some sort of acronym to help you remember. What does type check mean there, Ched? Can you read that?
Make sure data is correct type. Like age must be a number, not letters.
Wendy, tell me the different types of data in Python. Yep.
Integers,
Int,
strings, characters,
string, characters. Okay. So if I ask your name, but I give an input, our computer should say, "Oh no, that's not okay." Okay. We wouldn't accept that. Presence check, Ched. What does presence check mean?
Make sure the file is not left blank.
Okay. Can you have a password that has nothing in it? No. And Wendy, format check. What does that mean? That's right. And so this is where you would make sure that it has a symbol, right? In a password, it has a symbol. And then the last one there, Ched, what is this?
Check digits. Export digit to verify numbers are typed correctly, like ISBN check digit.
Yeah. This check digit is not used too much. It's more about the verification of sending the data between computers. So we're going to do range check today, length check, and let's see if we can get into type digit. Please open up Python. So you should have Python installed. Go to IDLE. And today's note is about validation. Go File, New. Okay. And then I want you to type the header comment, put down today's date. Today is January the 12th, 2026. Put your name. My name is Mr. Newson. You can put your name. So when you submit the code, we know. And what is today's topic there, Wendy? It's data what? Validation. Okay, let's just take the note. There's 6 validations. Number 1, we have range check. Okay, range check is basically a specific range of numbers. Range of numbers. Okay, if you want, you could write this in your notes or type. I'm gonna just type it on the computer. It's just a little bit faster, but this is basically our note, and then we're actually gonna program this out. So range check, Wendy, what is the other type of check? Range check, what's the other type of check? Correct. Length check. It's basically length of characters. Okay. Chad, what was the other check? Let's go back. We have range check. Height. We have to do a type check. So let's go back here. Type check. Is it int, float, bool, char? What do we have? Int, float, bool, char. I guess on the exam they could have date. That could be a type. Do we have any other types there, Wendy? In float. Oh, we're missing one more. What is the other one more type? Yeah, we're missing one. Yes, string. Strings. Okay, so these are different types of variables. And the fourth one was presence. Presence check. Is it no blanks? Okay. And number 5, format check. Format check. For example, symbols or format of what? Of order. Okay. So format, if it has a $sign, that's going to be like a format check. Okay, like symbols. And then the last one, we're not really going to do, but that's called check digit. And that's like for the transmission of data. It's not going to be, we're not going to really use it, but it's for transmission of data. Okay, so we're not going to really do this. We're going to focus on these 4 here. So here's our schoolwork. Make a Python program that will do the following validation checks. What is a good password there, Wendy? Tell me, what is the length of a good password? From the PowerPoint, what is a good password? The length must be greater than 8. Or was it greater or equal to? I think it's greater or equal to 8. Okay, good passwords have a length that. Chad, what else has good passwords?
One like has the big number and small number.
Okay, it has some numbers. Okay, so we'll do a range check. I don't know if it's gonna really have a range. We don't really need to have a range check for a password, but okay, it has some numbers. Okay, Wendy, tell me something else. A good password will have what? Yeah, it has some symbols. That's like a format check, right? And it should not be blank. Not be blank, right? That's a presence check, so we have to do that. And it should be upper lowercase, right? You should have a format check, like AB, capital and lower. So let's start. We're going to have a password, okay? And you're going to get that as an input, right? Please enter a strong password. With more than 8 characters. Okay, so ask the user, and then what you're going to have to do is some check. Check if it's okay. We call that validation. Okay, so let's first check the length. I think that's the easiest thing, is to check the length of characters. I think that's the easiest program. Agree? Wendy, how do I check the length? So I'm going to make an if statement right here. And how do I check? How do I check if it's greater than? Yeah. If I do len, that's going to return the length. Now, just note, in pseudocode, we don't use len. What do you use for pseudocode? And they use the brackets there, and they put the variable in here. So just remember, len means length, and it's going to return the number of characters. So let's have a try. And I'll actually show you that. Let's just print this to the screen. Print length of password. I'm going to get rid of this right now. Okay, so if I run this, this program should tell me, and Wendy, feel free to go and do these other checks. I know that you're more advanced. I'm just going to be working at this pace, but if you want to make sure you do a length check.
Upper what?
I can't. Upper and lowercase. 大写小写. 大写小写. So save later when you just need to type basically this right here. Okay, Chet?
Oh.
And then I'm going to run this program and we'll see. I'm going to save this to the desktop. Make sure that you have a folder, and I'm going to save this under unit 0. Okay. We did that, and this is going to be about data validation. And basically we need to check you off that you can validate data. Please enter a strong password. I'm going to say password. Password is not good, but it said that it's 8 characters, okay? Like password 1.3 is 123 is not very good. Okay? So this returns the length of password. We want to check and say, if it's not okay, what do I need to do there, Wendy? If it's less than 8 characters, what do I need to do? Yeah, and then how do I get him to re-enter it? What kind of code do I need? What do I need to add? So if it's less than 8, I need to say too short, right? Or something like password is too short. How do I re-ask the question? I don't want to keep on getting the input. How to make it so that this goes into a loop.
So what's wrong?
What's happened?
I don't know.
I think you pressed it. It's this guy. Let's save this. Save this to your desktop. Rate data validation, and then reopen that. Okay, so do I a while loop or a for loop? Wendy? We want this to loop around if that. Well, we need to actually make a variable called length, I think, and then we'll just say while the length is not that, keep on going in that loop, right? So let's say right here, we're going to call a thing called length, and we're going to say the length is that, and then we'll say while the length is less than 8, do this thing. Does that make sense? And then I am just going to say length is going to be equal to length. And then if the length is not okay, it's just going to keep on looping. Does that make sense? So this is going to be, because we don't know the amount of times that the user is going to put in the wrong data. So I think a while loop makes sense. Yeah. So I want you to run this code. Can you hit? Yeah. So you can put it into a while loop and we'll hit run and we'll see if this works. Oh, let's just double check our brackets. Exclude that. So I'm going to hit run. Please enter strong password. And I say, hello, it's password's too short. It's too short. I'm keep on putting, it's rejecting this is too short, right? But let's put a really long password. It worked. You see, we have just finished the length check. Agree or disagree? Okay, so done. Give yourself a check. We've programmed that. Okay. Now, let's do number 4, presence check. Okay. Let's say it cannot be empty. Okay. So we have to have another check in here. How, Wendy, how can I check that the password has some data that no blanks were there? How could I do that? How would I check for blanks? How would I know that no data was entered in? Let's say I just put enter on the password. It said please enter your password. I just put I just press enter. There's no password. How would I check that?
If length equals to 0.
Yes, there's 2 ways. Either you could say if length is equal to 0, or the second way is if the password is equal to blank, right? So for number 2, you can either check if the password is equal to blank. That means that it's a presence check. Agree or disagree? Or another way that you could do it is if, can you say that one more about the character? If the length is what? How do I test if it's blank there, Wendy? What did you say about the length? I can know it's blank if the password is equal to this, right? Or if what? If the length, or if the length is equal to 0. These are the 2 ways that you can check for it. But in our case, I said, while the length is less than that, it's already doing a presence check. Agree or disagree? So I don't need this code there, Chet, you see? Because I'm already checking that the password is greater than 8. I'm just explaining. I'm just going to copy this code just so that you know. Presence check. I'm just going to throw it in here. So there's actually 2 ways to check. You can use if the password is equal to blank, or the length is equal to 0. Okay, so maybe just put that in there because we don't need to do that. So we have done that. Okay. Our code already checks if it's blank. Now, a range check. As a number. A range check, we can check, in this case, is it required to use a digit in a strong password? Do you have to use numbers normally in passwords? Having a number, is that a requirement? It probably does make a stronger password, but let's Google strong passwords. Is it necessary to have numbers? Do strong passwords have do they must have numbers? Not a must, but most do. Okay. So most passwords have upper, lowercase, and they do have some numbers. Okay, let's do a number check. Okay. How can I check for some number? Well, the numbers that we can have, let's make a list here of numbers. What are all the different possible numbers? Ched. Tell me the different numbers that you can possibly have. 0. What are all the numbers? Tell me a number. Yep. We can check for 1, 2,
3.
Okay. So make a list with some numbers, okay? And I'm just kind of showing you what we're checking. For each item in our password, we can do a little search. And those are all the numbers that we can have. Agreed there, Wendy? 0 to 9? Why did I put the quotation on? Why didn't I just use them as real numbers? Why did I use strings? Is because when I get an input in Python, it already is a string. And so instead of converting the two types together, we're going to have trouble. When I ask a password, actually, are those actual real numbers? They're not. When I ask a password, actually, it's a string. Okay? And so that's why my check, I have an array here, and I'm going to go through each item in this password. Okay? And I'm going to check if it has a number. Okay? So let's do the number check. Okay? I get the input right here, and that checks that. Right here, we're going to check if the password has a number. Okay? How do I check if it has a password? Well, I say I'm going to have a loop. For I in range password. Okay. What this is going to do is, for example, if my I'm just going to put a garbage password up here so that we can know what we're talking about. So let's say my password was hello123. Okay, which is obviously it's not a strong password. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a search algorithm that I'm going to look at this item first character, and I'm going to say, is he within this list? And there may be a Python function to do that, but for the test, I think using an iteration is probably more acceptable because some functions aren't allowed on the exams. So we're going to create the function to do the test. So I'm going to just go the very first character, and I'm going to look through here and say, is he equal to that? So for I in range, okay, that's going to go through each item in this password. If the password I, which is the very first item in this, for example, if H is equal to the very first number here, and we have to do this in a range for, I'm going to call this P in range, and we have a total of 10 numbers. Okay, I have to do a loop in loop. If the password I, so that's going to be if this is equal to this guy right here, I'm going to call it P, then I'm going to print found a number. What is it called when I put a loop in a loop there, Wendy? if I have a for loop with another for loop, what is this called? If you put a loop in a loop.
What is that? I can OP.
It's called a nested loop. Okay? So what I'm doing is I'm looping through this password and I'm looping through each item in this array here. And that's why I put a loop in a loop. Because for each character, I'm going to say H. Is it equal to that? No, that. And I'm going to increment this, this P loop right here. And so it's going to go boop, right through this whole array. And if it doesn't find it for H, it'll go to the next one. Okay. So let's see if this works. Okay. Not 100% sure. We'll give it a try. Oh, I forgot my colon. Okay, we'll hit run. All right. So enter a password, hello, and then I'm gonna say 12. Okay, it is doing the range. The password is a string, but it's looking for an integer. So I need to do the length. For I in range, length password, because this password is a string, but you needed to convert it to an integer. Okay, let's have a run, and we're gonna see if it can find the thing. So I'm going to say hello, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to see if it's going to say found a number. Okay. It found 3 numbers. It worked. Can you have a try? Show me on your computer. I'm going to put some more numbers, and it should count how many numbers I have. It found that number there. So very good. Okay, I'll give you some time right now. I'll just come and help you where you are. But we did, what did we do? We did a range check. We found that. So we're going to put this done. Okay. Just show me on your computer, your schoolwork. I want you to do the same idea, but not just this. I want you to make another one called symbols. Okay. And I want you to put in a couple symbols, maybe a $sign, or we can do all the symbols here. Okay, find a symbol. So done. Okay, this is your schoolwork. Schoolwork number 1. Okay, what I want you to do is do a symbol check. Okay, same idea here. I want you to put all the symbols from the exclamation mark all the way to the H, which is the star. I want you to check and find it. If not, it's going to say, oh, your password's not that. It's not good. Okay, make a symbol check. We have the number check. Oh, right. Number 2, you can check for capital. Okay. And that's basically a strong password. Schoolwork number 2, when you get that done, check for upper and lower case letters. Okay. If all is good, if all checks pass, print, you have a strong password. If all checks pass, e.g. presence check, range check, all that things, if all validation, let's use it. If all validation checks pass, print out you have a strong password. And for bonus, how else can you make validate data there, Wendy? When you make a password and you enter in a strong password, what does it normally ask you to do? Yeah. So I'm just going over here. Verification has this thing called a visual check. It usually says, okay, double check your password. Do you know how it says you have your old and your new? There's this thing called a double entry. Okay, so for bonus, it'll ask you, please re-enter your number. This is actually a real program that banks use. It's called a validation. It checks the length, and if not, it says, no, it's not acceptable. And so this is your task for today. It's just do a double entry check, and that would be for bonus. Okay, so this is your schoolwork. Continue on programming rate with the numbers here. Check for upper lowercase, and for bonus. Okay, this is for bonus, like maybe for homework. For bonus, do a double entry check. It's going to say, please re-enter your password to verify, and then it's going to save that. Okay, so again, this lesson is about validation. Wendy, how many validations checks do we have that you need to know about? We typed them up here. There's a total of 6 checks. Range, length. You can actually remember there's an acronym. It's very lazy teachers like fresh coffee. And that's the acronym there to help you remember those checks. So length check, or really is range check. L, lazy, is a length check. T for teacher is type check. So really lazy teachers, what was it? Really lazy teachers, oh, prefer. Prefer is presence check. And then F is fresh coffee. So format and check digit. So that's an acronym that I made up for remembering that. Okay, I'll let you work on that, and I'll check the chat if there's any questions. We can put them in, but this is for data validation, part of algorithms. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm going to end the stream. Yes.